It was January 30th, 1968, Vietnam's Lunar New Year, known as Tet. Traditionally, this was a time of peace and family celebration, when fighting often paused. US troops, though wary, expected a quiet holiday. Many relaxed their guard. But in the early hours before dawn, explosions and gunfire shattered the night. Across South Vietnam, more than 80,000 North Vietnamese and Viet Cong fighters launched a massive, coordinated surprise attack on over 100 towns, cities, and military bases. Rockets and mortars rained down, and fierce street battles erupted in places Americans thought were secure. The sheer scale left both US and South Vietnamese forces stunned. In Saigon, the fighting reached the heart of the capital. Viet Cong commandos stormed the US Embassy compound, breaching its walls. For 6 hours, US Marines fought room by room to reclaim the embassy. Television cameras captured the chaos, broadcasting images back home that shocked millions of Americans. Enemy soldiers were not just in jungles far away, they were inside what was supposed to be the safest symbol of America's presence in Vietnam. Though US and South Vietnamese forces quickly regrouped and struck back, regaining control of most areas within weeks, the Tet Offensive had already done its damage. Militarily, it was a disaster for the North. They suffered huge casualties, tens of thousands dead. But psychologically, it was a triumph. Tet shattered the perception that America was winning the war. Back home, the images told a different story than government assurances. Just weeks earlier, President Lyndon B. Johnson and General William Westmoreland had insisted victory was near, claiming the enemy was on the verge of collapse. But now, Americans were seeing nightly news footage of burning cities, terrified civilians, and exhausted soldiers. Trust began to crumble. Perhaps the most haunting scenes came from Hue, where the battle raged for nearly a month. US Marines fought block by block in brutal urban combat, suffering heavy losses. When the city was retaken, mass graves were discovered, civilians executed by the Viet Cong. The tragedy deepened the sense of horror. The Tet Offensive also marked a turning point in American public opinion. Legendary news anchor Walter Cronkite, often called the most trusted man in America, traveled to Vietnam after Tet. When he returned, he told his viewers that the war was a stalemate and that negotiation, not victory, was the only way forward. His words echoed across American living rooms and carried enormous weight. President Johnson himself reportedly said, "If I've lost Cronkite, I've lost Middle America." For the American people, Tet was a painful awakening. It wasn't simply a battle overseas, it was a moment when families realized their leaders' promises of progress might not match the reality on the ground. It fueled the anti-war movement, intensified protests at home, and pushed America deeper into a crisis of faith.